Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gentleman's Debate, episode 37. I am Sam. This is Simon.
What up?
Hope everyone's doing well. We've got another great episode for you. It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. Best podcast episode of all time. My name is Donald J. Trump.
You can't do the Trump.
I'm trying to do that. It's quite difficult.
You can't do the Trumpster.
Okay.
You cannot do the Trumpster as well as what I can. You have to say Gina in a very, very specific way. A very specific way. And you cannot do it.
Boom. That's how we get into it. That's how we get into the beginning of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Got to start with a bit of Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't love a bit of Trump?
Oh, and he's on the screen.
Oh, he's on the screen.
There he is. There he is.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen.
little Instagram story. Hey, look at Trump. What's going on here?
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not familiar with the Gentleman's Debate podcast, we've actually changed it up a little bit. So this is, if you're coming to this as a first listener ever, then you're going to be seeing us with a slightly different setup, as we're going to be using some more innovative technology to be able to give you more viewing pleasure and maybe even some audio pleasure. So prepare those eye holes and prepare those ear holes for a rip-roaring podcast episode, where today we'll be covering who we feel is the greatest Star Wars... Oh, right, there's Donald Trump on the screen. That little laugh that he did then was so maniacal. But we'll be covering who we think is the best Star Wars character. We'll also be covering the details of our poll from the last episode, the details of who was the best superhero actor.
And will it be another victory for me?
Or will it be another loss for me? We will find out. But also we're going to have a little catch-up, see how everyone's doing. I've got a couple of funny stories that happened to me today. One where my pride was hurt.
Right.
But
don't you get that every day, though, when you look in the mirror?
This guy, really, with the shorts? No one can see this on the camera, right? He's wearing, look at these shorts. Look at his hairy legs. His hairy kneecaps. If you're listening to the podcast, unfortunately, you can't see this.
Fucking summer, man.
Unfortunately, yeah, exactly.
Oh, I want to see a bit of calf action.
But, yeah, he's wearing shorts. Just because there's a bit of sun come out in Britain, he's wearing shorts.
Actually, it's because I was lying on my couch. I did a home workout the other day because I couldn't get... today, because I couldn't get to the gym. So I just did a bit at home on the old bench and the old weights. Did a few burpees. And then had one of my stories about gym afterwards. And yeah, I'm not too sure why I had the chocolate after the workout, but that's what happened.
I've got over there in my pocket, I've got some leftover cookies, which I'm going to devour in a bit.
That's a good idea.
I might even share some, because I'm a caring, loving kind of person.
What kind of cookies?
Here we go. You're going to hate me for this. Oatmeal and raisin.
Get out.
Ooh.
If I'm honest, I do like oatmeal and raisin. So big fan.
If you want to share the love.
Yeah, you can have a cookie. This guy can fuck off.
Oh, you're a good egg.
But yeah, sorry, my second story is actually, to go back on piste, my second story is at the gym, and is all about other people's reactions to people who are physically attractive. So my two stories will be.
Yeah, I get that all the time at the gym.
What, perving on defenceless women?
No.
Sorry, Josh. How do you know he's looking at women? Huh? You just assumed his sexuality.
Yeah, you
did. Who the fuck do you think you are? Piece of shit.
I perv on myself in the mirror.
I think I'm Josh Simpson of York Video Production.
Oh, you want to get the plug out the way early?
I provide videography services.
You know what we should do when we eventually do all the streaming and everything, and now we're doing more intuitive recording, is you should just have like a little flash up. It goes York Video Pro, and then you can just click on it if you want to. It's like a little sponsor thing. That'd be all right. That'd be good, wouldn't it? But yeah, if you need some video...
in the shape of a dick.
What are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say, Sam?
I don't know.
What are you trying to say? What do you think the dick is the most selling thing? Surely a vagina would be more well selling.
I don't know.
Depends. Who knows?
Both appendages.
Why not both on the same screen?
Different people in the world.
Why not no appendages? Because we're not going to put that kind of stigma on people.
Or why not instead a dick going into a vagina? Please both parties.
No, because then what about gay people? Yeah, you'd have to have two vaginas bumping up against each other. I like this hand action, by the way.
I like the sound
The
that it's
sound,
producing.
yeah, this is a good sound. You'd have to have that, and then you'd have to have two dicks crossing. And then you'd also have to have the figure 0 for people who don't have sex.
I'm actually quite lost. How did we get onto this?
I'm just making sure that
people
Josh
that
is...
don't have sex.
So, yeah, because there's people who are asexual.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there's asexual, because I remember my old uni did an asexual awareness day, and I was like, oh, so what's this in aid of? What are you trying to draw awareness? Because I didn't understand what the term asexual meant. And people who don't have sexual impulses, and I went, and I did say, they need a day for that? I did say it, and I was like, they need a day for that? Like, really? Like, it's not like you're living that much in hardship, surely, because if you have no sexual impulses whatsoever, it doesn't matter.
Wow, I mean, I thought...
Doesn't matter at all.
Simon was like Mr. PC over here. Clearly not.
No.
Do I need a day for that?
Do they need a day? Do they need a day for that?
Stop whining, you bitches.
Yeah.
That's the point. They're not whining.
Yeah, they shouldn't be whining. There's nothing. They're like, that's it. I just don't like having sex. Okay, cool. Let's move on.
No, I don't particularly want to stick my dick in that.
Or have
anything for that matter.
Yeah, or have a vagina penetrated. That's the anatomically correct way of putting it.
Shout out to you asexual people.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
shout out.
we've lost your
Sorry,
your viewership.
We already lost the asexual crowd. Yep, that's not going well.
What the fuck has happened to this podcast?
Yeah, we don't know.
ask
Shall I
ourselves
go
that
on
every week.
Shall I go on to my story?
Are you not finished with that yet?
I haven't told you the story. I told you what the stories are about. There's a warm-up ready to go. There's a bit of foreplay ready to play with this.
Well, what
also,
about
Sam,
people that don't like foreplay?
Where's your stories?
Huh?
Where's your stories?
I only have one story, but it's actually to do with the gym as well.
Okay. Shall I do...
But I haven't been on the stag do yet, so...
Oh, you're waiting
Not my stag do. I'm going on a stag do tomorrow for one of my cousins, so that'll probably be where most of the stories come out.
Okay. Well, I'll do my gym one, because the pride one...
You've been talking about it now for about 3 years.
The pride one is my favourite one, so I'm going to save that for later. But, so in the gym, okay? So
were you in the gym?
I was in the gym. Cool. I was in the gym, yes, mate. Cycled down there. Healthy as fuck. Got in there and said hello to everyone who owns and runs the gym, and got changed, put my headphones in. That's where I zone out. I don't talk to anyone else. I'm going to complete my workout. And I went over to the squat rack, because I wasn't doing any squatting, actually. It's where you can slide the bench underneath and you can do like bench press. So I was doing bench press, bent over row, and military press, or overhead press as some people would call it. About midway through, just as I started doing the military press, just as I started doing the bent over row. And for anyone who doesn't know what the bent over row is, it's basically where you bend over and you put your bum out, and then you pull in a weight up into your chest. But it does look slightly gay, a little bit. A little bit like I'm sticking my arse out for the rest of the world to look at. Then a very, very pretty...
He's totally going against the Mr. PC thing here.
It definitely is.
Yeah, sorry.
Turning over a new leaf.
This is a different side to it.
Anyway,
tick all boxes.
A very pretty girl then went into the second squat rack, and she was wearing a lot of pink. I noticed it because of the pink. And I looked over, and then I immediately looked back, and to myself, with no mirror, there's no mirror here, just to myself, I went... Because she was that hot. That hot where you go, and you're only talking to yourself.
If my girlfriend's watching this, no, I have no idea what he's on about there.
Yeah, and Lily, if you see this, then you'd say the same thing. Anyway, but then I ignored her because I was like, no, I'm not going to be that weird pervy guy who just stares at people, like usual. But what was going on over to my right hand side, in the sort of what do they call it? Like the multi bit, where they've got like the pull-up bars, the punching bag, the rowing thing, with the standing row thing. It's like a multi-rig, omni-rig.
Oh, right, okay.
An omni-rig thing, which is like sat in the middle of the gym.
One of the apparatus.
Yeah. There was a PT working with his client. And it was by the way, the client was, I'm pretty sure, is on the scale of dwarfism. Because she was tiny, it looked like she didn't even crack 4 foot.
It's going all out here.
She didn't. No, dwarf is the correct term. Dwarf is fine.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
It wasn't really relevant though.
No, it's just a little side thing. It does draw into the story. But
right. Okay.
If she was above 4 foot, I'd be like, no, you're not above 4 foot. Anyway, so he was working with the girl, and then he noticed eventually the pretty girl who came in next to me on the second squat rack, what she was focusing on was squatting. Yeah. So immediately she went in with a weight, by the way, a much heavier weight than I was anticipating. We were talking like, I think 40, 60 kilo on each side of the bar. So that's her warming up. I think she was 40 on each side. So she's warming up with 80 kilo. That's a good weight. And she was doing squatting. The natural squatting motion is to sit down and push your bum out. And that PT's eyes went from here to there faster than I've fucking seen a man look.
He was just checking her form.
Yes, he was just making sure she was...
Just making sure she wasn't risking her back.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah, making sure she wasn't... Especially the lower back.
Exactly.
Like the lower... Like towards the spine, where the coccyx sticks out. You know, the two muscles where the coccyx sticks out. He was making sure that form was dead on correct.
Are you referring to her gluteus maximus?
Her gluteus maximus is what I was talking about, my friend.
Didn't you want to be a PT for a bit, Sam?
Yeah, I did the gym course. Bored me to tears.
You should have had that girl
which is
doing
really annoying it because I was good at it. That was the annoying thing. Yeah.
You could always start up again in the future.
I could do. Yeah.
Finish it off.
The anatomy side of things is the anatomy is easy. It's the
it is.
We're children. Oh god!
It was all the stuff where it comes to the bone structures and all that stuff. That was just like, fucking hell, this is difficult.
It does sound difficult.
Yeah,
you have to learn all the
because basically
you
have to really.
You're doing
stuff.
some of a medical degree where you have to learn the anatomy of the human body.
Yeah.
Or a human biology degree.
But my story is funny.
Oh, I haven't finished mine. Button in. I haven't even fucking got close to finishing mine. It gets fucking better than this, mate. It does get a lot better than this.
Fucking better.
It's not like your story's going to set the world on fire, or it's not going to blow my hair back. Hashtag ball jokes. Can make them, by the way. This is like my thing about
That's actually how he lost it. I made a joke one day and it just fell out.
Yeah, it just fell out.
Yeah.
Just fell out.
It's just like the power of my humour ruined Simon's life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like radioactive screen.
Ooh!
Oh, there's the plug.
That was a terrible.
There's the plug.
That was shockingly bad.
There's the plug
you
for
should
you.
hang yourself in shame. But thank you.
But we might as well go with the plug.
Yeah, we'll go with the plug.
So what is radioactive screen?
Radioactive screen, as I've mentioned before.
That's that veiled interest. So what is a radioactive screen? I love how fucking forced you put that on then.
It's not like I already know, you know?
I mean, what is that? Could you tell the ladies and gentlemen all about radioactive screen and where they can find it, Sam?
Well, radioactive screen, ladies and gentlemen, is a brand new YouTube channel that I set up, and it's got a few videos on now, so you should go over to it, check it out, search radioactive screen.
After the podcast.
I said
no,
it to you, son of a bitch.
Do both at the same time, multitask. I think. I have no idea. But look out for the picture of me on Thanos' body, my head. It's great. I'm holding the Infinity Gauntlet. It's wonderful. You will hopefully really, really enjoy it if you like your film and television stuff. So go ahead. We'll also be linking it to the Facebook pages, the Twitter pages. We'll be linking everything together so you can get all of your film and television news and your gentlemanly debates.
Yeah. What was the most recent episode you did?
Most recent video we did was 6 issues of 6 things I hated about Star Wars The Last Jedi. But the next video coming up is a spoiler talk on Avengers Infinity War.
As in the second part to it? Or was this the first film?
Yeah, referring to the first
The film that's come out.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, so go and check that out after this podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Also,
oh yes,
if you could go onto the videos and just keep hitting F5 because we need reviews.
Yeah.
is F5 refreshing it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was a bit confused then.
Click refresh for people that aren't that technologically advanced.
Or if you have a botnet and you just want to test something. I don't know. So my gym story.
I mean, there's our channel getting taken down.
That's going to get
So the really hot person was getting stared at.
Yeah, she's getting stared at by the male PT, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what he would stare every so often, and he was working with his client, and then they got to the point where he was trying to show his client how to do slam balls. You know, you take the heavy ball, pick it up, and you slam it down onto the ground.
Yep.
Obviously, it's not very hard for her, seeing as she was so short. However, she wasn't very coordinated whatsoever. And basically, at the moment that he was looking at this girl doing a squat, she threw it on her feet, and she went like a cow being murdered, like. It was pretty. She threw it. I think it wasn't even that heavy of a. It's just the motion of her throwing it on her feet. I think she panicked a bit as well, and he snapped back but not before she saw him snapping his head back. I hadn't noticed it because my headphones are fucking great, so I can't hear anything. However, I saw that she'd looked, and then I looked. So it looked like she was looking at the PT, because the PT, I think, looked and then looked back because of the self-conscious nature of the entire thing. And then it kind of looked like I was looking at him, then going, were you looking at my arse? So I think he kind of got the impression that we both were looking at him like he was judging us like pieces of meat or like fine cows being sold at market. But that PT...
How do you know he wasn't looking at your ass?
I don't think it was mine. I don't, because my arse compared to that girl's arse, nowhere near as nice.
He might not. He might not swing that way. He might have been a gay man.
He
might have
pretty
been
sure he's straight.
After a bit of the, he might have been looking at your head.
My head. What? Why my head? Why?
I don't want to say. I've already been really mean to you so far.
I only shaved it. Like I shaved it especially for the podcast, so it's super shiny today. But I will say, we
did need the extra lighting.
Yeah, you're right. You fucking do need it. What I will say is it's much better when it's not all hairy. It's better when it's like a little.
So Yacht Video Pro, ladies and gentlemen.
We're bringing it back.
It doesn't do the 70s bush.
I mean,
we haven't sworn yet.
Does Kathy?
it's better when...
Don't answer that.
I'm sorry, but it's better when it's not all hairy is not a term I want, linked with my production company.
Mate, we've talked about you being on Pornhub before.
Yes, but you're making me sound like a pedo.
Making you sound like one, Josh.
Come on, Josh.
Just own up to it.
Fuck right off.
He's the first one. He's done the first swear word of the entire thing. Josh, our producer, who regularly tells us off for swearing too much, did the first swear word.
Absolutely. What a cunt.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I actually swore about 20 seconds into it. You just didn't notice.
Did you? You little shit.
Yeah.
This little ball bag coming in here swearing. Who the fuck do you think he is? Right.
No, stop that now.
Gym.
Language.
Gym talk. What's your gym story?
My gym story is that, obviously, so I'm one of those...
We're macho men, we go to the gym.
Yeah. No, wait.
I mean, you look at me...
We do, you don't.
Obviously, you do look at me and you see the very pinnacle of being a macho human being.
I'm signed up at a gym.
All right, sorry, wait. I'm going to have to stop you there. Kathy, your girlfriend put in the group chat that you cancelled it.
Yeah, because right after my holiday, I'm signing up to Swift Fitness.
It's all the way over here. Your work's all the way over there. I thought your work was putting a gym in.
15 minutes away from my house.
Is it?
Still don't actually know
Swift,
where you live.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, because you never
we're not
show
saying
up
the
to
podcast.
anything.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, you don't shit. For people who obviously don't know, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a first listener, Sam is renowned for
Being a bastard.
disappearing.
I like that.
He just disappears sometimes. We'll be like, "Oh, do you want to hang out, guys?" And then Sam will be like, "Oh, sorry, I'm busy." And then there'll be a point where he goes, "Oh yeah, all of my plans have fallen through. Can I hang out with you guys?" And we're all like, "You know what? No, Sam. Right? If you want to hang out with us, you got to fucking hang out with us."
I'm a popular guy. You need to book me well in advance.
You had a
Book you well in
bastard,
advance.
Sam Chiata.
You do need to book me well in advance. I've got
Are you not watching
no,
Bellew versus Hay?
No, we're not going to say it.
Ooh, God.
Which is a bit annoying, but we're going to have a good night.
Admittedly, I'm not fussed about that one. As a boxing match, I was much more hyped for the Parker Joshua one, and that was actually quite a good boxing match.
Joshua.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with David Hay Bellew, I'm like, I've already seen that.
Well, we didn't get to properly see it because Hay fucked his ankle up.
He tore his Achilles tendon.
He couldn't fight properly.
And then he injured himself.
So we
remember
didn't see the
he got
proper
rebooked?
Yeah.
Remember he got
And he
rebooked
injured
because
himself
he injured
again.
his bicep.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. But I'm not going to be watching that live. I'll just wait for it to come out after.
Fair enough.
I'm not to take anything away from the fighters. It's just like I'm not that fussed about it, and the undercard doesn't look that good either.
But gym story.
Your gym story, go on.
So yeah, I'm one of those early birds.
Before Josh
that
interrupted.
goes to the gym. So we get up at quarter to 5 every morning to get to the gym before we go to work. And I think it was on Monday, Tuesday this week. We got in there. We got onto the benches. We were doing a bit of. We start on. It was chest or shoulders, whichever one. Blah blah blah. Who cares? But anyway, all of a sudden we just hear this.
Sounds like that girl throwing the slam ball on her feet.
Fuck is that? And there's this guy behind us sniffing poppers.
No!
Sniffing poppers at the gym before he does his set.
What's he
and
doing?
He was on the chest press. So...
Hang on, poppers relax your arsehole, don't they? Hang on, are poppers smelling salts?
I actually don't know what poppers are. We just know he was sniffing
Josh.
them. Yeah.
This is my computer, but can you Google what poppers are, please? Bring it on the screen
I don't
for us.
know what they would actually do to enhance the set
So-
or the workout that you're doing, but he was sniffing poppers.
One of my,
getting on the bench.
Was he moving heavy weight?
Yeah. It was a bit of a monster. I'll give it to him. But he was doing it. So when he was grabbing the bar, before he was lifting it up and starting on the chest press, he was going...
He's getting... Oh, that's weird.
Oh! And then pushing it up and then...
Right,
and
so...
then after every time he pulled it down, it was... Whoa! Whoa!
Poppers is a slang term given broadly to the chemical class called alkyl nitrites that are inhaled for recreational drug purposes, typically for the high or rush that the drug can create. Poppers have been historically used for sexual encounters among the youth, including the gay community. Very popular during the 1970s, 80s, and 90s rave scene, where they were made popular again. Wow! That's so weird. That's so weird people sniff that to make their bumhole relax so they can have sex.
It was so fucking weird. But the best part was, obviously, around the gym.
You might want to take that down now, Josh.
Everyone just started collapsing in fits of laughter. didn't faze him. He was still going
shit.
for it.
I love it.
He was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
like a cow giving birth.
Yeah, it was
what
hilarious.
he might have been doing, smelling salts. So one of my yes, that is true. I also use that website. Thank you. What I will
for
say,
people that can't see that,
it also comes up on there. Shit.
When we typed in poppers on Google, because someone doesn't know how to use incognito, you can imagine what other website that begins with a P and an O.
Gentleman websites. I think you'll find
For
our younger viewers.
No.
Gentleman websites.
No, women use it as well.
That's true.
Women freely admit to watching porn.
And gentlewomen. Okay. Yep.
Like Simon does.
Yeah.
What videos were you watching?
It's none of your business.
Brazilian fart fetish porn.
Brazilian fart fetish porn. How did you know?
I always thought
fart fetish porn.
I always thought you were quite similar to Randy Marsh. So
fuck me.
I've got to say it again. Fucking hell, what's happened to this podcast?
So
nearly went into
to bring it back to this.
Rogen laugh there.
To bring it back though, the thing he might have been doing was smelling salts. So it's ammonium something, whatever it is. And they smell it, and it basically helps shock your nervous system, so that you can. Apparently, the idea is it helps move heavier weights. One of my colleagues who's into powerlifting, he smells them, and then the grunting though. He does a little bit of grunting, but he's not too much of a grunter. That guy sounds like he's a big grunter.
Basically, we
what
thought
gym's
he was
that, sorry?
doing
Is it Pure?
24/7.
Oh, right.
I basically thought he was doing his best audition or impression of Christian Bale as Batman.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Shall we move on to the results of last week's debates?
Yes, last week's debate for anyone who wasn't there. That was episode 36. Who is the best superhero actor? You can go back and obviously watch and listen those. Listen to that episode. See what you thought. But the details of the poll on.
What, do you want to do Facebook first or
no,
Twitter?
We'll do Twitter. So on Twitter, we had 54% for Charlie Cox as the Netflix Daredevil. We'll call him just Netflix Daredevil,
Just
I think.
call him Daredevil.
Yeah, because the other one could be deleted from history. And then it was 46% Robert Downey Jr. Thank you to all of those that voted.
How many votes
on
did we get on Twitter?
13 votes.
13
votes.
Okay, that's not too bad.
And we had 3
so
retweets and 1 like.
Well, that'll be a 7-6 split. wasn't it?
Yeah.
That surprised me, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's
That has surprised me, yeah. But Charlie Cox is great as Daredevil. Yeah, like
yeah.
I said, I think I've really admitted that at the end. It's fantastic.
thank you
Daredevil.
for the retweet from Zoe Batista at
Great last name.
at Desving Moogie 1982.
Any relation?
To what?
to Desming Boogie.
Oh, to Dave.
To Dave Batista? Don't know. Let's find out.
If she's related to Dave Bautista, then
What I will say is it is it might be a porn. It might well be a porn one because the first one that came up was this.
Problem is,
that is a bum.
That is a bum.
I mean, the problem is, if it's not and she's watching this episode, she's going to feel really self-conscious.
Well, thank you anyway, Zoe.
Yeah, it was a nice bum. From what I saw, I was looking at an angle. It could be an abnormal bum. I don't know, Zoe. If there is a problem with your bum, please go to the doctor.
And for bedtime.
Right, Facebook,
So on
Facebook poll.
it was I mean, you got
battered.
You got butt fucked. I hope you have your poppers on you, mate. Because, Iron Man
Christ.
is going right up there. 85% Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man to 15% Charlie Cox is Daredevil. So it is
And how many
another
votes?
victory for me. I'm well ahead by now, surely.
Yeah.
You gotta bring your A game, son.
How many votes?
I think it was like 37 or something.
30
I will
something,
get that up.
It was thank you for everyone who voted on it.
Yes, thank you for everyone who voted. I don't think we had any comments this week. I'm going to double check that on my thingy. It was 27 votes. Sorry. So
I feel like you had one comment on one of the shares.
Might have been on mine.
It was a GIF comment.
It was.
Was it you?
Oh, it was
With
you.
me.
It was you with Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. I'm not saying he's a bad superhero actor. I'm just saying that wasn't the one I'd go, yeah, that's the one I'd tick the box to. What I will say is, Josh Brolin, fucking killing the game, isn't he? He is fucking killing the game.
Daredevil 2 and Infinity War.
Uh-huh.
Deadpool 2.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't Daredevil, sorry. You said
did I say
Daredevil.
Daredevil?
Yeah.
So Daredevil. Yeah.
Daredevil 2 and it's Ben Affleck just going, I'm just going to cut my eyes out, fuck this shit. Just gets a fucking a fruit spoon and just starts carving his fucking eyes out. So it's another victory for Sam, which is disappointing again. If I'm honest, with that debate, the previous one we had, I'm a little bit sad for Charlie Cox because I feel like people just voted for Robert Downey Jr. just because obviously they know him.
Well,
And he's
probably because Robert Downey Jr. is really
But
good as Iron Man.
I'm sorry, but
Charlie Cox
Charlie
is really
Cox
good
is
as
an
Daredevil,
amazing.
but
I think he's the best by a long. I do mean by a long shot. Long shot. Long.
well, evidently the people don't. So
Yeah, fucking people.
Mhm.
But thank you for voting anyway. So, the best for this debate, it is who do we think is the best Star Wars character?
oh, this is going to be fucking tough.
We didn't do the we deliberately didn't do actor or like best supervillain actor, best like villainous actor, best good actor, whatever, because in Star Wars you have so many great characters that vacillate between dark side, light side, scavenger, fucking bounty hunter, etc. There's so many different, it's a melee of different stuff in that sort of thing. Obviously, honourable mention straight away to Jar Jar Binks as one of the greatest characters of all time in the Star Wars franchise. George Lucas.
Thank you very much now, today.
I mean, just look at him.
That's quite good, actually. I mean,
Just look at him.
George Lucas. When he signed off on that, he must have had a rock hard on, wouldn't he? He must have just been trying to lift that table up.
What?
George Lucas, when he signed it off.
Signed what off?
Jar Jar Binks being in the film.
Jar Jar Binks was his creation, so he didn't have to sign anything off.
Well, he's the
Jar
dude.
Jar's
He's the
gonna be in
main.
this.
Well, he was the main man. He was the main man. Look at that little smile he's got. That right hand image. That's just harrowing. Can you show people on? Can you show people it on the video? Because you can do your display.
Yes.
You can show people that.
Which display is going to come across?
Just do display capture.
Then crashed into this facade, blah, blah,
One we want.
then vanished.
It displays that screen that you're working on.
Yeah.
Not that one. Sorry.
I don't know.
I don't
Just
know.
trying to fill it
So-
in with...
There he is. Jar Jar.
Jar Jar Binks. Honourable mention straight away to him. If we could, we would. Is the way I'd put it. As in, vote for him, not mate.
It's all coming out for Simon tonight, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I love me Brazilian fart porn fetish. I love me Jar Jar Binks. Oh, I'd love to fuck his...
I don't even know if he has like reproductive genitals or anything.
He probably does. To be
Yeah.
honest, though, the size of him...
He's
Again,
a
you
big
probably
lad,
have
isn't
to
he?
start sniffing the popper side.
Yeah, he's a big lad. He'd turn you into a fucking canoe if he got too...
Bend over, Baldy. This is going to go right up your butthole.
So... So Josh decided to sneeze on himself and all the snot came out on his right arm. So Kathy, if you see this, make sure you wash that t-shirt for him. Fucking hell.
But don't wash it in Sprouts.
Hey! Josh's
In
girlfriend.
joke, guys.
Yeah, Josh's girlfriend has an obsession with putting sprouts in all of the meals she can find.
You're going in another direction with that.
I
She's
know
got an
he-
obsession with putting Sprouts
somewhere.
somewhere after Josh has sniffed poppers.
Da-da-da-da-da.
I mean, if you weren't going to go there, I was. So.
Well, at least we know whether how they like the party. I'm staying around. I'm staying away from that house.
I wonder why
You've
I've never been
invited
round
us-
to the house.
You've invited us round next week for drinks, so I'm not coming now. I mean, I'm not coming now. Because it's not being in my bum.
Will you stop crying?
Crying?
Yeah.
I've got my left eye is irritated. So it's kind of, you know, where it's weeping.
I mean,
The technical
I
term.
was going to use a lube joke, but
No. There we go.
okay.
So, the debate. This is probably for all the Star Wars fans. This is going to be probably a very hot topic, and it's going to piss people off. I know it's going to piss people off, but it's going to be who is the best Star Wars character. Period. End of. Etc. I think I've got mine.
I've got mine. It's going to be shit if we pick the same one.
Can I go
So
first?
who goes first?
Can I go first with mine?
Should we flip a coin to see who goes first?
I don't have a coin on
I
me.
don't have a coin. Do you have a coin on you?
No one has a coin on it. Great. Love it.
Yay. This was well prepared. Oh, shall I flip BB-8?
It's not attached to
Which
a
way
key,
he
isn't
lands?
it? Well, that was forced. You want to go with Anakin Skywalker?
Jake Lloyd.
Yeah, but we're doing the best
angel?
we're doing the best character.
Is that Chloe Moretz?
Don't
Why is
know.
there a
Yeah,
picture
yeah.
of Chloe Moretz? and
She does
Jake
look.
Lloyd?
She does look a bit similar, though. A little bit. Not the lips, but you know. Is he in prison there?
He had
there a mugshot?
He had a few problems, did Jake Lloyd?
Can I see him as a Oh my god, he looks like he would fucking murder your children, wouldn't he? God.
Are we editing this bit out? Or
No. This is in. This is definitely in. So the best character. I'm going first. Fuck you. The best character for me would have to be
Jar Jar. Jar Jar.
Obi Wan Kenobi.
See, now
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan is
Or
my
Ben Kenobi, as he's later known as.
Obi-Wan is my favourite Star Wars character of all time, but I am one of those people, I think there's a distinction between your personal favourite and the best. So, for example, my favourite band of all time is Muse. I think the best band of all time are Queen, if you get what I mean by that.
Okay, yeah,
so
that's fine.
that is a great pick, but it is Darth Vader.
And the interesting bit is we have picked mortal nemesis and
Yep.
best friends.
Mm-hmm.
What about Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker? You know,
Well, it's not.
pre-Darth
We're
Vader.
not doing the actor.
I don't give a shit.
We are doing the character.
So you're just doing
So
Darth.
technically,
So hang on. Can I just?
technically-
No,
you're
Darth
including it.
Vader.
So you're just doing Darth Vader,
Darth
so it
Vader.
doesn't cross into Anakin Skywalker.
I'm not crossing into Anakin Skywalker.
Right. Okay. So all the stuff that happens before Revenge of the Sith.
I don't know what. To be fair, I don't know what the rules are. Do I have? I mean,
Because Obi-Wan Kenobi does become Ben Kenobi, so technically but he's the same person.
no,
whilst,
but he is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
yeah.
still-
whilst
he's
Darth
still the same
Vader
person.
there's a definite split, and I just want to find
There is
where's
a-
the
yeah.
split after Revenge of the Sith, or is it when
I'm
he turns into Darth
I'm
Vader?
going with when he is Darth Vader.
So when he turns into Darth Vader,
Yes.
yeah. So when Palpatine goes, you're Darth
Yes.
Vader.
So, but yeah, basically,
Cool.
yeah.
All right, I just
from-
wanna know
from
the-
pretty much
I wanna know the
halfway through
rules.
Revenge of the Sith when
I want to know the
yes.
rules. Just wanted
Yeah,
to check that.
so when he is Darth Vader,
So going from the end of Revenge of the Sith, where it's like, no.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
oh, so you mean when he's in his suit?
Hmm?
Yeah.
I thought you meant when he.
No, when he is
Ah, okay.
when he gets the title of Darth Vader. I'll go from there.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he gets the title, where he's still Anakin, basically, with
Okay,
arms and legs.
okay,
Hashtag spoiler alert.
Well,
Hashtag it's been 10, 20
not
years.
arms.
Oh, true. He had already lost an arm at that point. Isn't it weird how Luke lost an arm as well? Like, hit both of them lost an arm. I feel sorry for them.
That's the theme.
Also,
And
how good are prosthetics in that Star Wars universe?
Right.
It's also a theme with the Marvel films.
Yeah. As a homage to a Revenge of the Sith,
Star
Empire
Wars.
Strikes Back, or Star Wars in general. In every single Marvel Cinematic Universe film, someone loses an arm.
Quite a lot of people don't. What's his name? Loses his hands, doesn't he? In the beginning of Revenge of the Sith.
Count Dooku.
Yeah, he gets his hands cut off by Anakin.
But yeah, no. In all the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, someone loses a hand or an
Since
arm.
when?
Hmm?
Since when?
What do you mean since
Since-
when?
Since
Like
the
ever?
start
Hang on.
of it,
Ever
yeah.
since? So Marvel.
Yeah,
Ever since Marvel's.
the films.
So that what?
So Iron Man 1.
Iron Man 1. Who lost their arm in Iron Man 1?
I'm trying to think because I did watch it.
Was it
today.
the guy who was in the Nine Rings?
No, he
No.
kept both of his arms. Someone did lose an arm though, but I can't remember which one. I actually watched Iron Man 1 before, like earlier on today.
I love
I watched it like last week. And I
Yeah.
can't
Robert
remember.
Downey Jr.'s floppy hair, and that's good.
Hmm.
Do like the bit of the old floppy
I
hair.
could be wrong, but there is a theme that runs through it
I'm pretty sure they said
at some point. Yeah,
every
yeah,
film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or every film in a certain phase.
It's interesting.
yeah. It might be a certain phase.
Yeah, it might
I
be
know,
a phase
I know,
too, I don't know.
I know. An arm is lost in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it's
they're-
not a spoiler.
No.
You're trying to remember who loses an arm in Infinity War now, aren't
I
you?
am now, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can do it anyway.
Right, let's
So-
just carry on.
It's Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan Kenobi, the big black dildo versus creepy granddad.
Oh, yeah, someone does this.
Oh, there's the fucking
Have
delay
you just
from
found
Josh.
it? You just remembered. You can tell me at the end, and I'll see if I'll see. If
There's
you
the
got it
delay.
right.
Anyway, right. That's how people lose arms, yeah?
2 people lose arms. 2.
If you haven't watched it as of yet.
2.
Not 1, but 2. Anyway.
I am so sorry if you haven't seen the film yet.
Should we go into this Star Wars debate? As it is,
I'll let you go first.
as it is May the 4th, this is rather auspicious.
Yes, when at the time of recording, it's May the 4th.
It's May the 4th,
When this
but-
goes out, it won't be May the 4th.
No, it won't.
It won't even be Revenge of the 5th.
I thought people were saying it's. Oh, I thought people were saying it's the 6th.
You can have Revenge of the 5th, Revenge of the 6th. Either way.
Okay.
You can have both.
Both, either, whatever.
Both.
Obi Wan
Obi-Wan.
Kenobi. The
Obi.
motherfucking OG, the motherfucking gangster that he is, otherwise known as Ben Kenobi in the original Star Wars films. I've forgotten the guy who played him though.
He's also known as Obi-Wan in the original
Oh.
Star Wars films.
What's-
He's referred to as Obi-Wan
Alec
and Ben.
Guinness.
Alec
Alec Guinness.
Guinness, yeah.
Yeah.
Who I do now I remember.
This is not going well so far.
No, Alec Guinness, who is who was, I don't know if he's still
Well,
alive.
yes, he's dead. Yeah.
But he was a very famous actor
He was
at
a
the time
very famous
of making.
Shakespearean actor.
He's also a famous World War II actor
Mm-hmm.
because he did a shit ton of films, like World War II films. I think he did Bridge Over the River Kwai.
Yeah, I think it was one of them. Bridge of
Yeah,
the River
he
Kwai
played.
or-
He did a
yeah.
fantastic job on that. But anyway, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the eternal mentor, at least in the original films, as in 4, 5, 6. Obi-Wan Kenobi in that
I've just thought exactly what GIF I'm going to use for the Facebook poll.
What?
Hello there.
Yes, yeah, it has to be that. It has to be that.
It
But
has to be.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, for me, is the eternal mentor to some of the greatest characters in the rest of the franchise. So outside of him, you have Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, and all the other cunts that he talks to, and all the people he interacts with. He's also... Is he a student of Master Yoda? As in Master Yoda was his master?
His first master was Qui-Gon Jinn, and then Yoda finished his training once when Qui-Gon Jinn died.
Yoda
Spoilers,
finished him off.
If you haven't seen Star Wars. If you haven't, then
Yeah.
what the fuck is wrong with you?
You haven't seen all the Star Wars yet, but...
Speaking of Star Wars,
Radioactive Screen, guys, there's a Star Wars video. Go and get it. I was actually speaking
we'll put a
to
card down there.
one of my colleagues at work, obviously, yesterday. And she's saying she's never seen Lord of the Rings at first.
That hurt me.
And then she went, I've never seen a Star Wars film either. And it tore me apart.
She's never seen Lord of the Rings or Star Wars?
Yeah.
Is she the kind of person that only watches Harry Potter?
Exactly!
Funnily enough, he's told me this story before.
I fucking can't stand those people.
That's exactly
we'll
what I said
go
to
back
her.
onto the debate in a second.
I
But
literally said to her, I said, I bet you're a fucking Harry Potter nut as well, aren't you? And she went, yep. I was like,
stand
but
that.
I bet, even worse, you're not a massive fan of the books, but you love the films. She went, yep.
What did you think of Fantastic Beasts, the film you appeared in?
I don't know. I didn't ask her because I keep forgetting about it, even though I was in it.
I love that
Or
film.
potentially in it. I don't even know. I still haven't fucking seen the film.
Watch it! Jesus Christ.
Fantastic Beasts is such a good film.
I bet it's not.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Is it? Is it
And
really?
It was fantastic.
Oh my god.
Hey!
Bye guys. Podcast over.
You're welcome.
I was disappointed.
I'll tell you who else is fantastic.
It's not the first time you said that.
Josh Simpson of York Video Pro.
No, Obi-Wan Kenobi, to bring this back onto the rails. Don't
I mean,
choke.
yeah,
don't do it.
I'm meant to be
Don't
having my
choke.
tea in 8 minutes.
That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to keep this train going.
Yeah, that's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not happening. But Obi-Wan Kenobi, in the original films, is a beast. But not in the sort of like, oh, he's a beast as in fighting. He's a beast in like soft skills, and he's like a mentor, and he kind of talks mostly about the Force. And he's the first person to really introduce the Force, which will be a reoccurring theme throughout the entire rest of all the films, stories, comics, TV series of the Force. He's the first one to outlay what the Force really is. And
You're talking about in the films there?
yeah, in the films.
Right, okay.
So he's the first one to actually kind of start to talk about it, not in the intricate details like Liam Neeson fucking does as Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Whatever. Where he starts talking about the chemicals that sit inside of people that help
The
you.
midichlorians.
Yes.
Midichlorians.
That helps you somehow, people who have higher midichlorians, which they've then dropped, haven't they?
No.
They still keeping that in? I thought it was to do with the bloodlines or whatever. Some people were saying it's bloodlines.
They just don't really mention it.
They just
anymore.
don't talk about
they
it.
just don't mention it. But it
Good.
was actually, fun fact, it was a thing that George Lucas thought about when he was making the original trilogy. It wasn't just we'll throw this in for the prequel.
But he didn't put it in. Oh, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was a literal, like, I'll just chuck it in. It's fake science, shit like
But
that.
also the Force surrounds us and penetrates us, your Video Pro.
Yes.
Go on.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Then later on, or earlier on, we should really say, moving into the prequels. Some say the terrible prequels. Some say some of the worst that Star Wars has ever created.
I disagree.
I disagree in some points as well because of the shining light that was Ewan McGregor in all three of those films.
I agree.
He was fantastic playing the student in Phantom Menace, the revengeful student at the end of the film where he basically fucks up Darth Maul and cuts him in half, which is, by the way, one of my... When it comes to lightsaber duels, I think that's the best one.
No, Anakin Obi-Wan, Revenge of the Sith.
I think, kind of, maybe. I think it's up there. I think it might be even a strong second place. But I do think that the Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, Qui-Gon
Why?
I mean,
Bridge on the River, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn. And also then with Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then the music, fantastic. The music for it, and then the actual staging, that music, and then the staging.
You're trying to make me rip these headphones off, aren't you?
Anyway,
Wanker.
stop it. And then the staging between the different barriers that end up separating them, and then the fact that obviously Qui-Gon Jinn is then killed.
I mean,
Spoiler. Hashtag spoiler.
I really enjoyed Rey versus Kylo Ren in
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Rey versus. Because I liked. I mean, in the newest film.
It's but the best part about The Last Jedi is the throne room scene.
Yeah.
By
Which
a mile.
some people say isn't a lightsaber fight scene, but I'm like, it is.
I mean, it's not.
But it is the best scene in the film by a country fucking mile.
I also enjoyed Luke v. Kylo.
Luke v. Kylo.
I enjoyed it for what it was, but it was also a little disappointing because I expected more. But that's a whole other thing,
not when he
which we'll
tries to
talk
kill him
about on
when he's a
one of
kid.
the next videos going on Radioactive Screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
But
Obi-Wan Kenobi, the prequels, you see him go from student to then becoming a master, and then and you see him struggle with trying to teach Anakin and trying to help Anakin with his issues, because obviously Anakin is so fucked up to the nth degree, and he is trying to walk the line of the Jedi being not being like his master, but then trying to, like, I'm talking about Qui-Gon Jinn, sorry, not being like his master who was an outsider. He wanted to be on the inside, but then he also was trying to carry forward some of the wisdom from his previous master. And you watch him struggle trying to help it, and eventually he fails his student and then ends up chopping his arms and legs off, which I will say, arm and legs off, sorry, which I will say is a brilliant lightsaber scene. Not my favourite, but I think is a very good one. And then you see him go into the self-imposed sort of exile, and also him having to fucking deal with, I don't know, Anakin's offspring killing poor old Padme. She dies whilst doing childbirth. Poor fuck. You see, he's like, oh great, so I've now got 2 kids that I have to look after all of a fucking sudden. And he goes, I'll palm one of these cunts off to Alderaan. Was he the king of
exact
Alderaan?
quote from Revenge of the Sith there.
and then
This cunt off, and this cunt, I'm taking to fucking sand planet.
I'm taking him, and then I'm going to take him to, what's that Australian one that we keep taking the mick out of?
Huh?
What's that act that we keep taking the mick out of? No, he's not Australian, sorry, I fucked up. I got them confused. In the Revenge of the Sith, where they plays the aunt and uncle that look after Luke? The guy who plays...
The guy who plays Uncle Owen.
Yeah, what's that actor's name? I've totally forgotten.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's going to zoom in on Sam's confused face.
It's thingy from... I'm getting a phone call. Why are we doing this? Hello.
Because we can play with zoom in, zoom out. All sorts of stuff.
It's really annoying me because it's the guy who was in Bright. He's in loads of stuff.
Yeah, he played the orcas in the orc in Bright, and then also he was in...
As soon as I see his name.
He was in...
Oh,
what was he? He was in the MMA film with Tom Hardy.
is it?
Yep.
I've forgotten it. It's so annoying, isn't it, when you say... I've said that, and it's pissing me off because I've
Joel
forgotten...
Edgerton.
Yeah,
Yes.
I knew it was Joel. But
When
When are you taking the piss out of Joel Edgerton?
No, I got confused between him and the Australian.
Worthington.
Sam
Yeah.
Worthington, yeah.
It's similar sounding names. They kind of look similar, kind of. They just don't sound the same. That's what kind of freaked me out a little bit. But yeah, he had to palm off Luke over there, and then he was like, you know what? Tatooine's not too bad. I'll hang out here. Can get a good suntan. But for me...
Age horrendously.
And turn into Alec Guinness. I always thought it was Alec McGuinness.
No.
Is it Alec Guinness?
Alec
Sorry.
Guinness.
I don't know why. Anyway. But as a character, Obi-Wan Kenobi for me plays the perfect role of student and master throughout the entirety of Star Wars. Even in the Clone Wars animated TV series, he's a beast. He is an absolute beast in there. So yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi, best Star Wars character for Simon Tolley. Gives us some black dildo.
Oh, I will. Best get sniffing those poppers.
Dun, 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 dun.
So, it is Darth Vader. When you think Star Wars, you think Darth Vader. He's the most iconic, probably the most iconic character of all time. Film. history. He's easily the most iconic villain ever put to screen, at least sci-fi. It's just, you get for Star Wars, whenever you go around, let's say the shops in town, you will see Darth Vader. Doesn't matter. Even if he's not in the films, obviously, because he's dead now. But
Hashtag spoiler.
But you see Darth Vader in the advertising. He's a big draw. It's just, yeah.
I mean, he
And
was in
obviously
Rogue One, for fuck's sake.
Yep, he was in Rogue One. Well, it made sense for the timeline. But they incorporated him into the Force Awakens. They still mention him in the films.
Yeah.
Because he is that influential over the franchise as a whole. Darth Vader is the boss. I mean, James L. Jones has got the most fantastic voice for the greatest villain of all time.
Did you see the videos from when they were like filming it, and it was the
Welsh guy.
Yeah.
The Welsh guy. He thought he was.
acting.
I felt sorry when I figured out when they said that he thought he was actually playing it.
Yeah.
He wasn't just
Yeah.
the body double, not double, but he didn't think he was just the body actor. He thought he was the actor, and he was like, "Oh, I can't. I'm not going to do a Welsh accent because I can't do it." But
Please do.
No, I can't. But he thought he was like he'd lucked out. He was like, I've hit it big time. I'm in Star Wars, and then it played, and then no one had told him, and it played, and it was James Earl Jones, and he fucking apparently he said,
yeah.
I was disappointed, but I can see why they went with him. I like how he had enough of an ego to be like, I'm gonna be in Star Wars, bitches, and no one ever sees his face.
Did he play him in the later films?
James L. Jones.
No, not James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones still doing the voice. He still does the
you could
voice.
say.
The
In the later films, I don't know, but I know he was doing Comic-Con panels.
David Prowse, that's the one. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he returned to it. He got over his anger. He got a paycheck and thought, oh, that's decent.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know if he because wasn't there a whole thing around about people took paychecks, and then some people took, or some of the people who were involved in the production of Star Wars, they took percentages. Because I think that's what Harrison Ford did. He took a percentage of how much it would make rather than a paycheck.
Yeah.
Because he didn't really need it, while everybody else did need the paycheck.
I think some of them did, yeah.
And that's why there's animosity towards other...
Side note, Tom Cruise did that for the first Mission Impossible film. They were going to offer... I think his original thing was something like they offered him $5 million for the first film.
Right.
And he said, nope.
Percentage.
He said, just give me a... Yeah, he basically negotiated that he got a percentage
Well,
of
if he got
whatever the film makes.
5% of the
and
franchise...
He ended up making like 60 million off it instead of the 5 that he was just going to get paid.
Yeah.
But also, side note, Spielberg and George Lucas had a bet at the time of Star Wars A New Hope opening.
Yeah.
I think it was Close Encounters that Spielberg was opening at the same time.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. It was Close Encounters.
Okay.
They had a bet with each other as which one would do would end up being more successful. Got a percentage of everything from then on, right? So Spielberg has made more money off Star Wars than he has off of, I think, any of his own films, and he still gets that percentage to today.
Wow. I wouldn't have honoured that. I wouldn't have honoured that bet. But anyway, I wouldn't be paying that cunt no money.
The funny thing is, though, it's not actually a massive percentage, but because Star Wars is so big.
Well, when it's the sponsor for Duracell batteries.
To be fair, I'm not sure if he still gets it now that Disney own it, but he was getting it. He was still getting it in the present day. Yeah.
That's insane.
Because not only did he get it off the films themselves, he got it off all the merchandise.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And obviously, they don't call him Toy Boy George for nothing, do they?
Also, just to mention, the first Mission Impossible made $457 million at the box office.
Fucking hell.
Off an $80 million budget.
Mm.
So they how many times do they make the money over? 50?
Yeah. I'm not sure of the exact figures of what Tom Cruise actually ended up getting, but it was something like that.
50 times there. So the budget was 80 mil, wasn't it?
80, yeah.
Yeah. So 80 times 5 is...
Yeah, but not 50.
So it'd be 5 times?
5 times.
5 times, sorry, yeah. Sorry, I didn't do maths very well.
About 5.5 times its budget.
5.5 for a turn. That's good.
Then you've got to add into
I mean, you got other production costs, haven't you?
marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit.
into account.
So yes,
But yeah, so
Darth Vader, mate.
Hit me with it. It's basically going to be you hitting me with stuff and me rebounding it because I haven't got a bad word to say against Obi Wan. Literally don't. I can't say anything bad about Obi Wan. I can't.
As a character,
You're gonna have to. It's a freaking debate.
as a character.
I
for
know
me,
it is a debate, but it doesn't mean I have to put down his. I just have to big up mine, and that's what I'm going to do. That's my strategy for this one because I have nothing that I can't even think anything in my head that goes against Obi Wan.
I've got one for Darth Vader.
I can't think of anything.
This will be my strong. This will be basically a 1 point argument
the bat ready.
of Darth Vader, and what he previously was, as in Anakin Skywalker.
But I'm doing Darth Vader.
Is the biggest example. Is the biggest example in both terms, because Darth Vader is obviously the dark side. Anakin Skywalker is the light side, but in both terms they represent completely wasted potential. So Anakin was meant to be the chosen one, bring balance to the Force, which actually he technically did because there was loads of Jedi and there was only one Sith, and then he killed all of them down until there's just 2 versus 2. Anyway, so he did bring balance to the Force. It's just not the kind of balance that everybody was wanting. Anyway, Anakin didn't reach his potential, never became a Jedi Master, never became anything. I mean, well commended during the Clone Wars and everything. But he never attained the rank of Master and never became like a Yoda figure. People were thinking he'd become the next Yoda. But even when he changed and became Darth Vader, he represents still a completely untapped potential because of his devastating loss to the Obi Wan Kenobi. What it shows is the strength and resilience of Obi Wan Kenobi in that duel, where he was able to take the chosen one for the Force. Let's just say the Force rather than sides, okay? He was able to handle that and basically best him. And there was recently a thing that the Stupendous Wave did where he used some technique that Jedis weren't meant to use or something like that, where he cut his arms and his legs and arm off. But what I will say is, you think about how twisted Darth Vader is. It takes a special kind of motherfucker to cut your best friend's and potentially brother. I mean, he calls him brother. We're meant to be brothers. To cut your friend's arm and legs off and then leave them to burn to death. That's a special kind of gangster. And then just to cap it off, then take his wife away, fly away in a spaceship. She dies, and then goes, "Oh, there's kids. Well, I'm just gonna palm these cunts off." Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'm sorry, is a special kind of character in that universe because he does everything and anything for the Jedi Order. And yeah, there's elements of what he obviously let down his Padawan, his trainee. He let him down. He also wasn't there to defend the Jedi Temple, etc. He wasn't there in the important moments where he might have been able to change the fate of the Jedi Order and, stop the Sith from actually taking over. But for me, Darth Vader and his alter ego, Anakin Skywalker, just for me as a character, just represents the untapped potential, the wasted potential of it. And as a character, and this is, other characters have this flaw as well. Like Luke, everyone wanted to see Luke in the new films as a boss, like him fighting, and like when you see him and he's standing on crate, you see him just stood alone. I was expecting him to just like crush a fucking AT-ST or whatever it was, AT-AT, sorry, or the new ones, what are they called? I can't remember what the new ones are called. Well, I was just expecting him to just go thumb and just crush one straight away. Obviously, that didn't happen. But the untapped potential thing, I think, is just part and parcel when it comes to Star Wars.
And the Skywalker lineage.
Especially of the Skywalker lineage. And yet, you're right. And when it comes to the Skywalker lineage, the big bad guy is Darth Vader, a.k.a. Anakin Skywalker. But he never lives up to the potential. He's never the Dark Lord. You have the Emperor, you have Sidious, who's above him still. And Sidious is another level of fucking OG. And then you've got, on the light side, he's not even anywhere near the top tier of some of the best Jedi. I mean, you got Obi Wan Kenobi first of all, then you got guys like Mace Windu, and then you've got Yoda, and then there's the other guy who I've forgotten.
There's lots.
Yeah, there's loads of people who are much more significantly more powerful in the Force, than him. Because
when he was in Revenge of the Sith, he was getting there.
Yeah, I think
he was.
But that's what I mean. Like he's
really.
The problem is he never reached his potential.
But yeah, because
he's a disappointment.
The only reason he didn't reach it was because Palpatine was a master manipulator and managed to swing him over to the dark side.
And the character for me is one of, it's like a self-loathing. And also, the character in the first three films is a self-loathing piece of shit.
With Darth Vader, is that you're quite correct, he never does reach his full potential, but when you see some of the stuff he has actually done in that universe, I'm not just talking about in the films, but I'm talking about in the
comic books.
Yeah, the comic books, the graphic novels, the novelizations. Despite the fact he is not at full power, he is still more powerful than most of the beings in the galaxy. He is unbelievably powerful.
Oh, I'm not criticising his power. I'm just saying what he could have been.
Yeah, he could have been, but like...
Have you read Vader Down, the comic book storyline from a recent Marvel? So basically in that he just takes out pretty much an army of rebels, just like wipes them out instantly.
Because that is Vader.
That shows
Vader is the ultimate beast.
There's a comic book where it's just after he's been given his suit, and he goes to hunt down a Jedi that had escaped, and he ends up fighting him, but loses kind of the first duel. But then what he does is he calls in some kind of like airstrike where he starts just shelling the civilians, and the civilians getting wiped out. And the guy's like, would you kill all these civilians just to kill them, just to like hurt me? And he'd go, I'd kill every single person in the universe just to hurt you. And I admit, Darth Vader is a great example of somebody who's completely twisted over to that. I mean, the embodiment of darkness, of evil. I mean, the look of him, for God's sake, is one of the most iconic things. I think you can tell obviously he's an extremely iconic character. For me, he's not the best, but he's extremely iconic one. Just from the scene in Rogue One where he's in darkness and then activates his lightsaber. That scene. There's nothing else that happens after. Just that one. If you just took some frames of him doing that, everyone would go, fuck. Everyone, even if they hadn't even back.
Yeah, because that whole scene, it almost played out more like a horror film than it did sci-fi.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's interesting they could do that.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic scene, and by far the best scene in Rogue One.
I think with Obi Wan Kenobi, there's also parts of the story that's not really explored in the film franchise. For example, him having the sort of conversation with Qui-Gon Jinn when he's done the whole resurrection thing. And then there's also where Darth Maul confronts him on Tatooine in Rebels?
Rebels. Yeah,
Rebels.
There's a lot more backstory explained in Clone Wars and Rebels.
And there's a lot of stuff that Obi-Wan a lot of people think, he just sat on Tatooine and did fuck all. He didn't. He was active in certain ways. It's just he wasn't active enough to warrant any sort of comeback, because obviously he had a job and he knew that if he was discovered, then Luke would be discovered. And I think that's why, for me, he's one of the greatest characters, because he achieves his complete potential. I mean, he does everything everything he sets out to do, he does. Admittedly, he comes up short against some people like Count Dooku, for example. He gets fucking knocked around by Count Dooku pretty easy. But Count Dooku is one of the best sword duelists of the Jedi Order that then turned to the darkness, so kind of makes sense. He's also an extremely powerful Force user and bested Anakin. So it obviously shows the level that Count Dooku was at. He's also trained by Yoda. But for me, one of the reasons why Obi-Wan Kenobi is the best character is because of his commitment and just quiet stoicism in looking after Luke. He plays a father figure to Luke, even when Luke isn't even cognizant of him. And then when they do actually have a proper interaction, he starts acting like a proper father figure to him and telling him all about what happened. Admittedly, he does lie to him a bit, obviously, about his dad. But he tries to protect him. He tries basically to make sure that he doesn't make the same mistakes that he made with Vader, a.k.a. Anakin. And for me, he's completely... And this is the thing. Like, I'm mostly thinking about it from the terms of successfulness. For me, as a character, he is the embodiment of the true, like, light side of the Jedi. He's completely, like... There's no wavering of him, or extremely little. I don't think I can remember anything about him wavering to the dark side very much at all.
No, I don't think I don't think there is anything about Obi-Wan potentially being swung to the dark side. He's just light side through and through. Yeah.
And then you have the portrayal by one of the best British actors going of Ewan McGregor, who, I'm sorry, needs to get more acting gigs going. Because
we just won that Obi-Wan solo film.
He should get an Obi-Wan solo film, because I think there's a lot of stuff they can do there.
Sorry, can I just quickly interject?
Yeah, go.
Have you seen the teased concept art for the Free Radical designs for Battlefront 4?
No.
Dark Side Luke was one of them. They basically switched every character's allegiance over.
Right.
So you got like light side Darth Vader, stuff like that.
Interesting.
Dark side Leia.
I don't know what, but dark side Obi-Wan Kenobi would be a very interesting character, because he would be like the completely most committed dark side user ever. He wouldn't have the same sort of character flaws that other... he'd be like this stoic monk figure of the dark side, for me anyway. And he is like a stoic... I mean, when you see him first time, he's dressed like a monk, and he's very stoic, and then he's the first one to explain, oh, look at that. Scroll down. Can you bring this up on the display capture for the people at home? Because we can see this, but... So he looks like the Joker in 1, which I'm not a big fan of, but can you go back, please? That one there, young Obi-Wan, where he's got the red sort of markings on his face. That is gangster. Old Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm not a big fan of that stuff. Mace Windu. Also, that's quite cool. Kept keeping the purple. Emperor Vader. What, as a light side one? Dark side Leia.
Yeah, they had to get the gold bikini in there, didn't they?
Yeah, obviously. Some of these are all right. Dark Luke. He's got 2 purple lightsabers. He's bald. Repping the bald. Sorry, but Obi-Wan, I'm quite happy with.
That's just essentially Darth Malgus.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy this one though.
No, for me, that one with a dark Obi-Wan Kenobi.
But yeah, that's Darth Malgus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. For me...
or Darth Malak. Vader.
Redeemed Vader.
So, moving on.
I'm just totally into that.
Yeah. You can show people on the with display capture, can't you, Josh?
I'll be
Jedi Maul.
Okay, cool. So, come at me with some Darth Vaderage. Why do you think he's so good? If you want to.
Well, it's just like I say, he is the most iconic character. Like, even people who haven't seen the Star Wars franchise, they know who Darth Vader is. Everyone knows who Darth Vader is. Like, and they know, obviously, the big famous line from Empire Strikes Back, even if most people actually say it wrong. But they know the line. There's just, there hasn't been a villain who has been as influential and popular as Darth Vader in anything else that I can think of. Even if you look at people like the Joker, like the Joker is fucking huge, but he's not as prominent as what Darth Vader is.
In the comic books, he's prominent, but in the films, he's not.
Prominent. No, I mean just in pop culture.
Oh,
in pop culture, like Darth Vader, like, is just on another level.
Villain in pop culture? I'm trying to think of a good one.
I'd say Joker's probably on the level.
Joker, maybe Joker.
But yeah, who else do you think of?
Just from sci-fi, yeah? Just from sci-fi. fuck me, it's hard. And the only archetypal one I can think of is Dracula. It's the only one I can think is as good as big.
Well, yeah.
Dracula's big, but that's not because of like film.
Anything
it's
portrayed,
because
yeah.
of Bram Stoker's book.
Yeah, and that's completely different.
It's
It's
a-
like Dracula,
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
Technically, I'm going to have to say it's sci-fi though.
Yeah.
It's technically sci-fi,
Yeah.
but that's
It's
original
more
sci-fi.
fantasy.
Yeah, but still, I mean, like you can say
They
that
do.
Star Wars is sci-fi fantasy because it's
Yeah, they do. They do.
fantastical.
crossover
It's
quite-
not like
quite a lot,
Alien,
but-
which is kind of based in reality.
Yeah, they're probably one of the only ones.
But I would say Dracula's the only one on the
But-
same level. So you'd have the Mount Rushmore of villains. You'd have to have Dracula, Darth Vader, Joker.
I mean, now that you say Alien, I think Alien might be
Not a bad. No, not villain.
pretty
They're not
high on
villains.
the list.
Not villains. They're just beings. I can't give them a bad. They're not villainous. Think about it.
I kind of understand what you're saying.
Joker, Vader, and Dracula are malicious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they sort of have a purpose and a goal, whereas the aliens are just like,
Aliens
ooh,
just-
that looks
They have to
tasty.
Kill
Yeah.
everything, which is a villainous trait.
No, it's
No,
not.
but it's like
No, it's
they,
not.
they don't
Yes,
think
it
about
is.
it. I'm gonna do this because I enjoy.
Bears-
Like they just think, ooh, tasty.
Let's
I'm gonna
put
have
this.
that.
Let's put it this way.
I understand what he's saying. I see them as villains.
Yes.
But
Hey.
but like for development wise, you can't really develop an alien. You just go, oh, it's the monster. It's killing people.
A better villain in
Whereas
that
on the
franchise
other-
would be Predator. Predator's a villain.
Nah.
Predator is a villain because Predator
Does
will
it for sport.
He does it for sport. Whilst an alien just kills because that's all it does.
In
In fact, the alien kills because it was bred that way. It was designed to do that by another being, who you would say is the true sort of
still
villain.
villainous.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I agree with both.
I think it's evil, but I don't think it's.
Fucking Fassbender.
Don't think it's a villain. I
He
think
was the best part about
the
those
villain-
films.
Finger me.
the dark, the sort of the super villain, whatever you want to call it, Mount Rushmore. As I said, Dracula, Vader, Joker. But who else is there? Like I'm
A lot of people would say Thanos now.
no, can't say that.
I don't think he's
He's
done
nowhere near as popular as he could be.
Not at the moment.
He's not
I think
Joker
after
popularity.
After the second one, I think
Maybe.
he'll be up there.
Maybe.
I mean, I'd disagree with you guys and say Alien is a villain, but okay, let's say that.
But but who else is on the Mount Rushmore of
I
evil?
wouldn't even have Dracula up there, to be honest.
But I'd say Dracula's up there because of the fact that he penetrates a lot of society
Penetrates.
with his teeth. I mean, books. He's got that covered. I don't think Darth Vader's got that covered at all. So we're looking at that. You're also looking at him penetrating into film franchises. For fuck's sake, he was in Blade Trinity TV series. He's been in Buffy.
Nobody remembers Dracula in Blade Trinity.
I really like Blade Trinity, if I'm honest. I've got a big soft spot for that. That sword duel, by the way, between him and Wesley Snipes, fantastic. Brilliant sword duel. Because that's a proper sword duel, not lightsabers. That's two fucking pieces of metal clanging at each other, trying to take chunks off each other. Love
Please
that.
don't compare Blade Trinity to Star Wars.
I'm not.
Ever again.
I'm not. I'm not. I wasn't saying that. All I was saying is I just
But
love.
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you're right. Darth Vader would be up there.
Yeah, I completely agree. But
in pop culture, he is one of the biggest things.
good
going.
guys, I don't know if Obi-Wan Kenobi
And
could be on the Mount Rushmore of good guys.
As far as
Too many.
character development goes, he is one of the most developed characters of all time, especially when you consider obviously the canon stuff, not just what you see in the
But
films,
he's-
but everything written about him.
But he's developed because we know the story of Anakin Skywalker. That's the thing I'd have to say.
Before that was ever put in,
I don't think.
before the prequels ever came about, he may have planned to do them, but before they were released, Darth Vader was the big thing. He's not developed because of the prequels.
He had I think one of the best development points for him was when the revelation, obviously, that he was the father of Luke Skywalker. That made it extremely.
Of course, yeah, but again, even after just A New Hope had been released,
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Darth
I think
Vader
there's-
just was
relevant-
the big.
but what I'm saying now-
was the big bollocks
in this
of the movie of the movie universe.
what I'm saying now is the position that we're all in is that we've seen his backstory. Yeah, so we've seen all of the stuff about Darth Vader. So that's why we've got such a good grasp of him now. But back when it was A New Hope, he was a completely unknown entity who was just dark. He was just the evil enforcer, and everyone thought he was the main big bad guy, even though I think he does reference the Emperor.
He does, yeah.
In that film. So you're like,
oh, what, in A New Hope?
In New Hope, I think he does.
I can't remember, actually.
I think he does talk about the Emperor. He must do, because they destroy the Death Star, and I think it's to do with that.
I'm not too sure they do mention the Emperor.
I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure he does, sorry. Or Tarkin does.
Yeah.
Somebody does it. Anyway. It's amazing, and it's also, when you think about it, in terms of bad guys, Tarkin isn't really... No one thinks about Tarkin when he's a bad...
Tarkin was awesome.
But then no one's like, oh yeah, Tarkin, I love Tarkin, he's amazing.
That in Rogue One.
They did the best they could. He's dead now.
Yeah,
I mean, they did the best they could.
It didn't look good.
I agree.
All right.
I agree.
But I thought it looked shockingly
but they did,
bad.
Hey, they did.
Awful.
They did the best they could. Because there's no way. I mean, you got a dead person. How the hell do you recreate that? Farting live on air, you piece of shit.
Just stuff him, and then
You can't stuff that. He's been dead for too long. It's too hard to do humans anyway. Wow, well, you're right.
Yeah.
I think to the average moviegoer, it probably looked all right.
Yeah, to the average moviegoer, but
Like,
the average movie, yeah.
Like,
You're average, mate. Come on.
Like Kathy went and didn't notice, and then I was like,
Yeah, but she probably didn't.
that was a dead guy.
She probably didn't watch. She probably doesn't remember the. If I asked her what happened in A New Hope, I bet she wouldn't know what the fuck's happened. I could make her watch it, and then 1 hour later I could
That's
ask her
actually
questions.
another issue I take with Snoke in The Last Jedi. I could tell he was CG. I was like, why don't you just use prosthetics? They always look better.
It's because prosthetics cost a shit ton of money.
Not as much as what CGI does.
I thought prosthetic because it's the talent and time. And it's the time issues. Maybe it's editing.
CGI costs loads.
Did you
more.
hear how much it cost to remove
The mustache.
the mustache?
Yeah, that cost a lot.
Yeah.
I agree, yeah.
Prosthetics cost nothing compared to
They should have just
CGI.
paid the fucking... What was it? They should have just paid the reshoot thing or something. I don't know. They should have just paid Mission Impossible. Like, fuck it. Look, we need him to not have a mustache. We'll
do you know
just let us do it.
Do you know what they could have just done? They've just gone like, well, to be fair, he's not dead and he's an alien, so I'm pretty sure we could explain that he's just grown a beard.
He does grow a beard. In the original one, he grows a beard when he comes out of Kryptonian sleep.
Yeah.
A Kryptonian coma.
He also has a black suit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was a deleted scene from Justice League.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I wish they should have put some of the more nods of the comic book in there. But yeah.
Although I feel like they went too heavy with that in Batman v Superman. Like,
You either go balls deep or you don't go. You either put the tip in. Depends.
The problem with the DCEU though is that they went in balls deep and then came too quickly.
That's true. Yeah, they didn't. That is very true. That's good. It's a good analogy there, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, I showed you how they introduced the rest of the Justice League the other day, didn't I? I showed you the scene from Batman v Superman.
We'll watch that later. We'll watch that later, mate. But so the thing I've got with you, Sam, is that you haven't got a negative thing to say about Obi Wan.
It's true. I don't.
You struggle quite a lot with it. I don't have a struggle with Darth Vader because Darth Vader's an extremely flawed character in my opinion.
Well, that's what's great about him. That's all the best characters are flawed.
And there is some bits where I'm like, yeah,
that's the point. That's
the
why
development's
because they're
brilliant.
relatable.
But
that's why we like these characters.
I like Obi-Wan Kenobi because
I love Obi-Wan.
He is like the White Knight.
He is, but like I say, I'm talking about you get far more development when it comes to Anakin / Darth Vader. He is by far the biggest draw when it comes to Star Wars. When you think Star Wars, you think Darth Vader. You don't think...
Or Luke.
No, you don't think Luke straight away. You don't think Obi-Wan straight away.
Han Solo?
You don't think Han Solo straight away. As big as Harrison Ford is, you think Darth Vader. The first thing... If you went up to random people in the street, and I'm more than willing to test this theory, if you went up to people in the street and saying, doesn't matter whether you've seen Star Wars or not, name a Star Wars character, I bet for the majority of people, they would go Darth Vader.
Right, let's go out into the street.
Yeah, let's do a street video.
Do this.
Let's do a street video thing at 39 minutes past 8 on a Friday night in New York on a bank holiday weekend. That's the only drunk people you can ask, who the fuck's this cunt? And then show a picture of Darth Vader.
I mean, we don't have to do it right now.
No, we're doing it now. You said it. We have to do it now. This camera's gonna have to follow us to all the computer. We have to get a little trolley and shit. No, but I think you know what? I think we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
I think there's no point going any further with this shit.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with it as well because I think I've made my point. You got the eternal loving father figure, the eternal white knight that is motherfucking Obi Wan Kenobi, aka Ben Kenobi,
and the OG bad guy, the motherfucking master,
the Dark Destroyer
of the dark side, Mr. Darth Vader,
aka
Mr. Darth Vader,
aka Anakin Skywalker,
aka Anakin Skywalker.
So this has been the Gentleman's Debate.
Only kryptonite is sand.
But this has been the Gentleman's Debate, episode 37. Fuck me, we're almost at 40.
Showing our age now.
I know. But we're adding new tricks, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be doing live streaming in the month of June.
Possibly.
Yeah, but we're playing with tricks now to do editing, trickery, that our lovely producer of yorkvideoproductions.co.uk.
York Video Production.
Production? Oh, fucking hell. Yorkvideoproduction.co.uk.
You started getting .co.uk right.
I got .co.uk, and now you're slamming me for this.
Jesus.
Our lovely producer,
right up your
Josh
bumhole.
Simpson. So if you need any work done for videography and photography, please go to his website, yorkvideoproduction.co.uk.
It's York. Oh shit! Even I got it wrong. It's yorkvideopro.co.uk.
Really? So
right.
So you got it wrong.
Let's just start packing up, guys.
I'm hungry.
Yep.
We're doing good. So, peace out, you lovely people. Say goodbye, Sam.
I mean, I will just have... It's fucking late, alright?
Yeah.
I've been at work all day. I want to go home.
Say goodbye, Sam.
Bye.
Say goodbye, Josh.
Bye.
See you later, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out. Bye-bye.